In other words, you have to understand that Paul is employing this statement, bad company corrupts good morals, to reinforce in us the reality that there can be a corrosive influence that people have that when you, by the way, this is not to say don't become friends with unbelievers or anything like that. That's not what this is saying. But what it is saying is bad company has a corrosive influence on what you believe and how you behave. I love my Western Civ professor. He is just so brilliant. In fact, he invited me to his office for coffee so he could tell me how everything that I learned from you, Mom and Dad, is a bunch of hooey. Bad company has a corrosive influence that erodes what we believe and how we behave. Do you think it is just coincidence that so many Christian young people raised in the church abandon their faith in college? Do you know why that's true? It's not because they've become intellectually enlightened and understand that Mom and Dad just fed them a bunch of fables. It is because they are constantly around unbelieving people who are constantly mocking and undermining their faith. And they're around all kinds of people who are living a life that is contrary to the things that they've been brought up to believe. And therefore, all of a sudden, all of the immorality, all of the unethical behavior, all of the sexual aberration, all of it becomes normalized. Do you understand that that's what's happening to us as a culture wholesale right now, is that perversion is being normalized? Bad company corrupts good morals. And so for Paul, bad doctrine, in this case, denying the resurrection, has moral and ethical implications. So young people, listen carefully. If God puts people in your path for you to evangelize and you to witness to, you do it. But you do it carefully. Exposure to error over and over and over again can have a devastating effect on your faith. There's an old preacher, J.W. Alexander. His father was the famous Archibald Alexander, who started Princeton Seminary. And J.W. Alexander, in his book Thoughts on Preaching, is actually talking, has a section where he's talking about preaching on error and preaching on heresy and so forth. And he makes this observation. He says that the pastor, the preacher, needs to be careful at how much error he exposes himself to, because error always has a deleterious effect upon the soul. Bad company corrupts good morals.